Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Advanced Course in Drones and Development. Today, we're going to be talking about something which is really close to my heart, and that is the village development. So, we know that villages need to share the development that we are talking about, drones that we are talking about, and the technology that we are developing has to reach them and they have to be a part of the solution, not just the audience. So, to talk about how they do it, we have Kanav Rajput from Better Drones, and he will be sharing with us his story, experiences, and case studies of all the work that they have been doing in the rural India. Welcome, Kanav.
Thank you, Ruchi ma'am. Thank you everyone. Thanks everyone for the time. And here I am, Kanav, the founder of Better Drones. And today topic is very important. And fortunately, we got some very wonderful chances to work upon some projects related to rural development only. And when we talk about rural, it's not only the number of villages near to the cities only, and also to the number of villages which are very remote, where it's even difficult to reach by any transport or any medium. Okay, I'm talking about northeast, I'm talking about Jammu Kashmir and all sort of terrain which we are able to do some work, and they are difficult, right? So I'm presenting my screen. Okay, so just give me a second. Yeah, can you see? Are you able to see it?
Yes, Kanav.
Okay, thank you. So this topic is very vast, and we have a limited time. And interestingly, I am covering a very small use case, or you can say, a proper case study. Okay, and it's a very emerging project or a scheme from the government side. So, guys, this is just a small context that the topic is very vast. So whatever I'm telling you, it's just from my small experience, and it's just a bit of the thing. So you can get into this. I know some people who are doing their even PhD in rural development, and even they are post grad with this particular subject in India and abroad also. Okay, so let's start. I am not putting a lot of effort on the PPTs and all. It will be more interactive session. I would like you to ask question related to this topic, or maybe other topic as well. I'm ready to answer those. And starting with this, it's a very small question from my side, that how many of you are from rural India or any other country, right? So you can answer yourself. And I think that most of us belong to rural India, right? I belong to rural India. My background is from rural India. Till date, I used to visit my village almost every quarter month, right? Every third month or every 4 month, I used to go there. I used to see what is happening there. I have seen a lot of change from my from the days from my childhood to the age when I started working in this particular industry, and lot of other thing, right? Changes had happened, but it was more about the uncertain or a inconsistent change, right? If I'm talking about these things, inconsistent change, there is a very major reason behind that, right? Politics is one of the major reason. Some people are interested, some political parties got their agenda to work for farmers. Some people are interested to develop villages, some are not. Some people used to, parties used to come with a very interesting policies, right, to develop villages or to do something for the people who are actually giving us the food, or sorry, food, or whatever you can say, right? So rural India is actually, I'm talking about particularly India. So rural India is actually a raw material or a food, whatever food we got on a plate, we are actually getting it from the rural India. Not only the food, if you talk about any industry, you talk about Ayurveda industry, we are getting raw material from there. If you talk about, milk industry, food processing, it's raw material we're getting from there. You talk about the big industry like coal, we are getting it from rural India only. Okay, Delhi and Bombay or Hyderabad is not producing the coal, right? We talk about metal industry, we are getting it from rural India. So if you see the overall development of any country, or a development in terms of GDP or the condition of economics, it always depend upon some of the major factors. So one Very major factor is always the farming. We are a farming major country. India is, more than 50% of land is into farming only, and even the natural resources you are able to find only in rural India. Okay, so but the question is, why, why we have to discuss this topic, and why we have to, figure out some solution using whatever the technology we can use, right? So the main thing is that how we, how we are looking towards their problem or their needs, right? Those people are not greeding for anything big, right? They don't want malls, they don't want metros, they don't want expressways. They just want a small development of the area or the, nearby region or their particular village where they are living, and actually they are not desiring for anything. The biggest thing is their basic need. When we talk about basic need, one is eye hygiene, water, clean air, and, basic livelihood of, going to a good school, or, having a basic hospital. And, we have seen the condition, and we have seen all these things during this unfortunate time of, being under lockdown for the with the reason of this COVID-19 virus, right? We have seen a lot of things. So, further going to this, this is the actual question. So, this will be the objective of our today's session and talk, or whatever we discuss. This should be the objective, I think. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about a very interesting scheme. Okay, guys. So this is a scheme which is, under the scheme name is Swamitva. Okay. So this scheme is under Panchayati Raj Ministry, and this is being executed, and this is being, given to SOI. So when we talk about SOI, it's Survey of India. This is the authority. This is a particular department who got the responsibility to map India, or to map all the terrain, whatever task they has been given, using the latest technology or whatever feasible. Okay. So now the task in Swamitva is very interesting, right? I will give you some other context with this Swamitva. Let's keep this Swamitva as the epicenter of the talk, and we'll talk around this, talk around the other things as well, right? So unfortunately, after after independence, it's fortunate we got independence, but unfortunately, most of our departments, most of our bureaucratic system was not that much good that we are good during the time of British era. Okay, so what happened? These things were not, we are not able to control, or we don't have the technologies. I would say we don't have the technologies, we don't have the institution. We are a poor country. We don't have the infrastructure. So due to this, we are not able to cope up with the speed which we have taken during the British era, right? So after independence, what happened? SOI is one of the biggest department, and Railway of India is also one of the biggest department, which emerged as a particular, I would say, they emerge as a particular domain, or an industry, or a ministry itself. So railway become a ministry, coal become a ministry during that time. Survey of India become a proper department under Department of this Science and Technology. Okay, it's under Ministry of Science and Technology. So what happened, that we don't have the technologies to map India. We have very old maps which we got during the British era, and these are some of the certain challenges. So unfortunately, even today, if you go to Survey of India and you ask them a high resolution map of India, we don't have that, right? We are just getting some of the data from ISRO, the satellites which are already there in the orbit. We are getting some of the data. Whatever change we have to see, or whatever data we have to see, we mostly use the satellite data. And when I'm saying we, I'm not talking about the commercial industry. I'm talking about the government, right? I'm talking about the institutions, whosoever require the data, right? And also keep the defense and other, departments which is critical to the security. They are different, right? Just keep them apart. We will talk only about the commercial use cases, right? So what happened now? Now India, after certain time, after getting all new mines, and a lot of change had happened in India. Startups are emerging, and a lot of changes is we are going through, particularly in Indian industry. So what is happening now? Now government came up with a very interesting use case of drone, that we have to map all our villages, right? India is still not mapped at a very high resolution data, right? We don't have till date. So first target is to map the villages only. And when we say why only villages, because there are a lot of issue. So I have penned down a lot of issue. I can just narrate to you one very basic and a common issue due to which there are millions and millions of cases in court, okay, in civil court, in land court, land record, and a lot of courts and judiciary we have. So one basic issue which we have there in the rural area is the land record, right? We don't have the land record. No one knows, no, actually no one knows where I am living. Is this is my house, or this is a panchayat land, or this is a land related to some state government or central government, or a lot of thing others, right? So we don't have any land records. You can't commit that you are actually living on your in your house or not, right? All the people who are there in the rural India, they don't have their land papers, they don't have the registry of their land, nor they have the any land record documentation, right? So this is one of the major issue, and there are million of disputes out there in the judiciary, okay, in the courts. So after analyzing those kind of data, Department of Science and Department of Law came up with something that we should have a map. And after mapping this particular, after doing this particular job, we should give a land record land holding record to every individual, okay? So this is one of the problem. Then other problem was that whenever we have to do any project in any rural area, either it is related to building concrete roads, or it is related to putting high tension wires inside passing through the villages, or it is related to placing any of the government scheme or doing any planning. Maybe it can be sorry, maybe it can be related to providing the clean water for drinking. So this is one of the common projects these days, especially going in Uttar Pradesh and some certain states of India. So these are the some of the use cases, and these are some of the problems. So planning for project, every time you have to take a machine, and every time you have to do a survey, right? That's also became an issue, because government have to, or whatever, whosoever is doing this project or these kind of project, they are going through a very difficult time. Again and again they have to do survey from the same area, and because we don't have any interdisciplinary department, so we can't get data easily from any other department. So this is one more issue. Then we don't have any digital data, so digital transformation is also very important, right? Land dispute, I have already talked about, right? So now what will happen after this, this Swamitva scheme will flow on the ground, and after that every land holder, every house owner will get a digital land record. You're okay? So how it will help, that's very important thing. So one first important thing, it will clear off the all disputes, right? After getting the data, and after processing the data, whatsoever are the boundaries, as per the boundary, a digital a digital land record card will be given to the to the landowner, okay? Then they can even show it in the court, or whatsoever is the issue, they can go with that. And also, very interestingly, we all are aware about loans, and for getting a loan we have to give something in terms of guarantee to a bank, right? But unfortunately, these people living in rural India, they don't have any kind of these things, right? They can't give their house paper to take any education loan for their children or any other thing, right? Because they don't have, right? After this, now they can take their loan on the mortgage of their houses. Maybe they can buy a tractor, they can take a education loan, they can buy more land for their farming, and they can do multiple things, right? So this is just a first and a very small step which Indian government have took to start with the Swamitva project of just to map all the Indian villages. And trust me guys, there are more than millions of villages we have, right? On the paper, I don't know how many are there, but I know there are more than millions, right? 10 lakh super villages already hai India mein, right? And this is a very also a very interesting use cases for drone industry, even a good opportunity, I would say, right? So right now it only started in Uttar Pradesh. So Uttar Pradesh East is already going on. Uttarakhand, some of the villages, more than 100 villages has been scanned. Now tenders are coming and floating for the other states as well. Companies like us or other companies who are already in the market, we are fighting to get those kind of projects, and it's a good to go win, right? So guys, now I will show you some of the data, and you will get a very clear understanding that after doing these kind of job, what kind of data is being created, right? So I anticipate that you guys are already studying about all these drones, all these technologies like GIS and all. So maybe I will be using some of the jargon, and I hope you understand those. And if not, just raise your hand, and I would love to answer your questions. Sorry. So this is a basic process flowchart, how it works. So first you have to set the boundaries as per the local land records of a particular village, right? It's on the Google Earth Pro, right? Then you have to set up a DGPS base to get a better accuracy inside a village. So these companies or SY came up with the latest technology of using a inbuilt RTK or a PPK setup. So we don't have to use any GCPs because it increased the time of acquiring the data. So we are going through RTK and PPK method. Okay. So after placing DGPS, we usually wait for 1 hour to to get it set up and to get it connected with most of the satellites and to get the best accuracy. Then we just make the flight plans, and then we just launch our drone, and it acquire the data as per the as per our instruction, like how much, at what height we have to fly, or what overlaps we have to give, the front overlap, the side overlap, and these kind of technical part. Then the next step is to process the data to create the orthomosaic, which is a 2D model, or a DSM, a digital surface model, or a digital terrain model, right? And after that processing, the main job, the digital transformation jobs come into the picture. That is marking out the house boundary, road, poles, all the drains, water bodies, schools, etc. So whatever we whatever features we have in a particular village, we have to mark all those features, right? We have to make a digital record for all those features. And after that, land holding party will get the land record card. Every individual, every house owner will get the land record card, which they can use for taking loans, selling property with no disputes, and other lot of things. So this is a very basic fundamental step. If you need more information, you just Google Swamitva. You will get proper documentation, a proper a flow chart and a process how Swamitva is being floated on ground. So this is actually village data. So this is an actual data. So this is an orthomosaic. I can't zoom and do all these things because this is being a screenshot taken from our software, right? So this is an orthomosaic. Orthomosaic is just a 2D model, just to understand. So if you can see, you have farmlands, you have houses. Totally, there is no plan. There is no totally undistributed. There is no you won't even find an equal distribution anywhere, right? So while doing these kind of surveys, we are able to figure out that if any government or any agency do they have to plan for anything, every time they need the data, because in villages are developing very rapidly, right? People are building more and more houses, people are taking more and more land, area is getting smaller. And if you see on the left side, we have a drain, a kind of drain or a river, you can say, right? It is not a clean river, right? So every time government people used to have plans, so they need these kind of data. So going further, we have a same point cloud, a 3D model of the same village. It's a small area cut, right? If you see, so you will find that this is a 3D model. The houses are maximum up to 2 floors or 3 floors, so not more than that. And then you can find the the farmland area on that particular side. So this is a 3D model which has to be created. So with a 3D model, you are able to figure out the XYZ data. If you need the height of a particular building, you will get that. If you need a height of a particular tree, you will get that. If you need a height of a pole, you can get that. And out of point cloud, you can create a lot of analysis and a lot of insight for yourself. Okay, so this is one thing. And interestingly, using a point cloud, you have to do one more thing. If you need to understand the terrain of your of the area, if you need to plan anything related to hydrology, which is related to water and all sort of thing, right? So you would be able to get it done using a DTM. Okay, so this is a point cloud, guys. And this is a digital surface model. Okay, so digital surface model we have created, and we have you can, whenever you process anything, you can download it after processing the point cloud. So if you see the surface, you are able to figure out, okay, what are the uncertainty, where we have the houses, where we have some other thing. So here we have the DSM, digital surface model. Okay, And using a digital surface model or a point cloud, you can create a DTM as well, which is digital terrain model. So you can use it for further analysis. GIS analysis is the main part. There are different things which you have to do in a GIS analysis part. Then guys, going further, this is a very important part, and this is actually actual topography drawing, right? Sorry, this is the actual topography drawing of the same village. And if you see on the left side, you can see that we have marked all the boundaries. We have marked all the features like drain, manhole, small nalas, and small drain, the big drains, farmland, open area, close area, and what are the width, and all the details are there inside the map. So this map you can easily analyze on AutoCAD, and there are other software as well. So on the left side, so using these kind of data, all the digital land record has been created, and all the digital transformation will happen. So this is a very fundamental data. And guys, talking about how this digital transformation will help. So this Swamitva is a very small one use case. I will show you one more thing, very interesting thing. This is a small video. First, you just go through it. After that, I will explain it to you, and again we'll watch it. Sorry guys. So you can see so guys, you can see a small village here, right? So this is a small village, and if you can see my cursor, so the cursor is revolving around a normal road inside a village, right? This is a road passing through a village. So I will tell you a story behind this. I will tell you a very interesting thing, how human behavior works, how human is tends, and how human mind works, that we have to go near to the natural resources, and how this urbanization and ruralization happens. Just watch this. It's a very small video. I will play this again, and I will ask you a question, and I want you to answer, or you can try answering. There's not any competition. You can just try answering this. So anyone up? Anyone can answer? What is this, and what kind of analysis we are doing? Mapping this kind of village. Anyone? No. Okay. Let me answer this first. Okay. Let's play it again. So if you see this red line, this is a road, right? This is a normal road which is being constructed after, maybe after some time this village is being settled down, right? And next thing is very interesting. You see these orange line, okay? So these are just, small roads passing through, and, in front of the houses. You check this out, okay, guys? This is a blue spot, these are the water bodies, very, very small water bodies, even, smaller than the houses. And if you see these spots, the dark blue spots, right? These are the area where we don't find any water body. But interestingly, if you connect all these points, right? If you connect all these dots, this comes up, right? So what behavior we are able to analyze using this data, that the human tendency, the human nature is always to go near to the resources. So the basic resource what is required for human in rural area is water, right? So because in older days we don't have motors, we don't have hand pumps, we don't have these kind of technologies. So the human behavior is to settle near to a river. And if you see, interestingly, if you see these yellow dots, all these houses are constructed near to this, not as per the road which is constructed later, right? So this is an interesting use case, and these kind of studies are going right now there in northeast of the Indian part, right? In northeast, this is the data from Manipur, one of the village from Manipur. And there are a lot of research institutes who are working on these kind of data. And this is a very interesting part. And now what they are doing, now they are planning to reconstruct all these small rivers, kukris, ponds, and regenerate them, and regenerate them to have the waters, and make sure that these people are able to get the basic fundamental things, because this particular village have a issue of getting a pure clean water. So they have their own wells, they have their own kind of stuff, they have small ponds, but trust me, the water is not clean to as per the WHO standards. The water is not clean. So so this is a drone image, this is a drone orthomosaic. So now people are assessing. So these guys, so this is a very small use case. So one use case was Swamitva, other use case is this. So guys, that's all from my side, and if you have any question you can ask me. This is a small message from your side: get vaccinated. That time is difficult.
Thank you so much, Kanav. Does anyone have any questions? So, Kanav, the question from my side is, are we mapping in the villages the settlements, the houses, or we are mapping the farm boundaries? What is going
No,
on?
no, no. Only the settlement, the main village, and we just take 100 meter of buffer to make sure that we are covering small areas nearby that. Because school used to be if you see, most of the schools are on the outer boundary. Most of the marriage halls which is being constructed by government, they are on the outer boundaries. So we have to cover those as well. But only this is the phase one. So what we are able to get from the department, that next phase will be the farmlands. And
Okay.
yeah, next phase will be the farmland, and I am expecting that before that next phase, first these authorities or the institution, they will go for natural I would say they will go for finding minerals, observation for minerals and all, because we are soon coal will will be clear out of the picture. Coal will not game changer, renewable will come into the picture. So we have to figure out more resources like zinc, like metal and other resources. So we have to figure out. So drones will be massively used there for the observation and the exploration part.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how challenging was it for you to work with the different villages in different parts of the country? How did you all do it?
So trust me, working in a village is actually difficult. People are very friendly. We cannot complain about people. They are friendly. They are the most friendly people you will ever find, right? And especially as remote as you go, right? But interesting part is we are able to find it difficult, while doing liaising with all the departments which are there, right? Those people don't understand these parts. Those people don't understand that we have to place a base, and there we need a space, and we need a clear ground and all sort of thing. uh, Liaising with the government department is difficult, but overall doing a project in a rural area is hectic free, trust me. If you're doing any project here in the urban area, it's more hectic, we find it more difficult. Urban areas are good to go.
And how did you overcome the connectivity issues? Did you have connectivity issues there?
Connectivity issues are there. Sorry, but if you talk about the infrastructure right now, roads are very well built, and you can reach easily to almost every village these days. But yeah, if you go to northeast and all, there you can find. If you go to Uttarakhand, very difficult to reach some of the villages. Even for some of the villages, you have to trek for 1 or 2 days. There is no road and nothing, so you have to even trek and then you have to go. But if you talk about the plain lands, Punjab, Uttarakhand, UP, MP, Maharashtra, easily you can access any villages.
What about telecommunication connectivity? Did you need that? And was that a hindrance, a challenge?
Interestingly, after after Geo, it's easy to get get a connection everywhere in part of the India. It's easy. At least we are able to get a network to just give a call, right? If internet is not there, no issue, but it's very easy to find a network for a call. So now, matlab, even in Northeast, you go there, you go Uttarakhand, you will find a good connection. Ma'am, I think you are on mute.
Sorry. So there's a question. In the earlier video, was it a local natural drainage which was being mapped for allocation of surface water? What
Uh,
was the purpose?
pardon.
In the earlier video,
Yeah.
was it a local natural drainage which
Mm-hmm.
was being mapped for allocation of surface water? Was
No, no,
that the
it's
intent?
no. It was not a drain actually. It was a small, you can say a source of water which was there, which used to be there, and after the people came there, and after construction, after consuming the water, so somewhere it became the pond, and most of the area are now dry. So they have to connect those and regain the natural path. So that was the plan.
Amit, is it clear you want to ask?
I want to clarify what I wanted to ask. So,
Yeah, yeah.
what we're asking is, natural drainage meant is like what was naturally a path of water flowing there, and then due to the settlements, we generally see there are deviations formed, and then the surface water is not adequate in the total area. So, was it for the surplus supply of surface water in the total area, or was it for like allocation in the present phase?
So look, see, right now, if you see the condition right now, I will again play the video. So if you see the right condition right now, so there are small patches of water, if you see, right? And the real path actually was there is a proper drain, proper, a small river, you can say. A small river is actually flowing at some, some part of the year, maybe 100-year back or 150-year back. But after this settlement came, the use cases of water has, people are using water, so it became dry, or due to other related global warming issues. So water has been dried from those particular area. Now these people are actually analyzing that how these settlement had happened, and these kind of data and this kind of studies are coming in front of them. Now they are planning to reconstruct that particular drain or small river, you can say. And this time it will be a proper proper planned river, and it will be constructed with the concrete and all. So in future we don't lose that.
Okay, got it, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
There is a question from Sirajam. Hi, nicely explained. My question is, what would be the minimum cost of these processes? As rural people, maximum time don't want to invest in these. We have to motivate them to adapt. Also, do you take any step to make them able to read the maps, especially in the civil code, as it is completely new?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. Even I have not, thought on these lines, but yeah, I can answer some of the point. So, taking your first part of the question, your first part was the, what was the first part, man? Can you repeat? Sorry, can you repeat the question?
It was about the cost of the process and whether the rural people would want to invest in it.
Okay, so Shrijan, firstly, rural people don't need to invest in all these things, right? These are the government activities. These are under some institution, so it's totally free of cost for these people to get the data, to get anything. And even if it's not the Swamitva, if it's related to something some else project, maybe water pipeline is coming to that particular village, or overhead tank is being made. So the people who are actually building the DPR, the detailed project reports, they used to get the survey done. They used to get the give the all data to the the panchayat, the pradhan of the panchayat, or you can say a block BDOs, development officer, or a patwari. So these are all tehsildar. So rural people don't need to waste any put any effort or any waste any single penny on this. And coming to the cost of this, costs are a bit high, because we have to use a very high grade system. Software are expensive. Even for a single machine, you have to use a software of around 2 to 3 lakh rupees. Open source is already there, but open source, you can't rely on open source for a commercial project. So we have to, and obviously manpower, operational challenges. So things are expensive, things are not cheap. But in future, as people are taking this up, and more and more data is coming, more and more people are getting trained to fly drone, and new companies are coming into hardware industry and software industry, things will get cheap. And I hope that even in India, our farmers will fly drone to analyze their farms one day, to see that all the big jargons of NDVI indices and all the indices. So in future they will 100% they will go for this. So that was the first part. Second part ki how they will read the maps and all in the tehsil and all. So trust me, right now even I don't have any idea how they will do that. Even if you're talking about the farmers, I still have a doubt how these lawyers or the judges will read this data, and how they will get this data. Because trust me, digital infrastructure is not there till date. Transforming data from one place to another is still a very big challenge. Still, being a digital transformation company, we have to give data in the form of pen drives or in the form of hard drives to the some of the big clients we have. And those big clients are the big name in the industry. They are not a small client, but still they are not very much adaptive to the digital transformation. Yeah, this is a problem, and we have to figure out a solution. I hope I answer your question.
Sirajam, would you like to unmute and see if you are okay with this answer? You want some more clarifications?
No, it's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
More questions or
Anyone else?
curiosities? So how does the data processing happen? Because I believe it would be like a whole bulk of data that we're trying to deal with. What's the plan of the government to process the data, and what's the kind of effort that is being put in?
So right now what happened for this phase 1, SOI is actually processing the data by their own. Okay, and that's a very interesting thing. So these days they are buying these softwares. These days they are occupied and busy with buying heavy systems, data processing centers, servers, and these kind of things. So procurement is going on, and I hope soon there will be a vacancy of around 400 GIS experts in SY only, and especially SY Dehradun office, because that's a particular headquarter for this project, right? So there will be a vacancy for 400 to 500 people. And this digital digital mapping, this will happen over a software which is being learned, and which is being trained by a AI model. So that particular software is being under construction in IIT Kanpur. So that particular software they are building. So what they will do, that after building a orthomosaic and getting a point cloud data, they will extract the boundaries automatically, because it's very difficult to do this particular task physically. You need thousands and thousands of people, and that doesn't make sense. So this is their plan as of now.
Okay. And do you think in the agenda there is anywhere about the data ownership by the villages themselves of the land that they own or the property that they own? How does it get passed on to them? Would it be like a digital ration card or something like that?
Yeah, so what we are able to understand, that they are giving a card with some sort of chip, which will have some data. But I don't think will they save the orthomosaic or something like that on their cards, or what will be the data outcome. But sooner and later, maybe by the end of the August or September, we are able to see those cards floating around, right? People from Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh will get those cards. And after that, we need to understand, maybe it will be like you have some passkey or something. You can go to a particular link, there you can access your data. If it is like this, then it will be a very wonderful job by government.
Okay, so let's say that this is all evolving and it's all about wait and watch.
Absolutely, trust me, these days even trials are going on for the other states. So still we are in the trial stages, because as of now there are very few players who are able to justify the technology and specs required by SY. And unfortunately there are one or two maximum. So more and more people have to come to this, because whole India needs to get digitized. And interestingly, I can tell you one more insight, that soon even we are in that particular RFP of the project. Two states of India are getting 100% digitally transformed, 100%, from aerial lidar to aerial photogrammetry to ground lidar for the roads and the state highways. every part of the country will have every part of that particular state will have a data and high resolution images of less than 5 centimeters. And there is a very massive plan, not by the central government but by the state governments. They are building a full library of every kind of data. You need hydrology data, you need mineral data, you will get household data, you will get drain data. Every, you name the data, they will have with a 5 centimeter of GST. So that's a very big project. Maybe it will be open by October or November to the public, that this is how we are working. These days it is already under evaluation with the most of the DPR consultants, because consultant will come into the picture, and then after that these drone companies and data collection company will come into picture.
Got it. So the intent is just to have the data, or it's also to make an is there an outcome that they're trying to achieve with all this?
What we are able to get first intent only is to get the data, because getting the data is still a very very difficult task these days. Technologically it's not a difficult task, but for the government people, for the government institutes, it's a difficult task. So first their thing is at least we should have data. Then whosoever will ask us, there will be a process. You can take the data. So again and again, you don't need to repeat the same things, right? Just take an example. I can tell you that there are certain places where even drone surveys have happened twice or thrice, and the departments don't know that this data is already lying with the other department, right? So that's an interesting case. There's a case that Jaipur is being fully transformed digitally, but if you go to Jaipur Development Authority, JDA, they will say that we don't have the data, and it is being totally transformed digitally, even with the helicopter lidar and with the drones.
Okay.
So
and why is that happening? Why is there a disparity between the knowledge?
No infrastructure, no knowledge. We don't have the infrastructure where that particular data will go, which server, whose server, data privacy issues, a lot of issues. So guidelines and policies need to be very clear, and it has to be very much adaptive. That's a very important part.
Which is happening right now, or no?
I hope so.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
So any more questions, everyone?
Anyone else? I think, yeah.
So we'll let them tell us about the questions or feedback in the feedback form. And also there'll be many people who will be watching the recording later also. So, okay. So we'll be able to tackle with that. And all the best to you. Thank you for being a part of this course once again. And it's always a pleasure to learn with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.